Cole, Ivan, show me where the green room is. Everybody's meeting in there. I like your suit, Cole. You look good.
This one? All right, no problem.
Oh yeah, a lot of freestyle, it's R-rated, so a lot of immature they come on here.
Some people say that a picture's worth 1,000 words. I took a picture of my friend that stutters. It's only worth one word. It just takes him 1,000 times to spit it out. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I'll tell you right now, there's only 2 ways tops to put that shit back on.
Stand up for about a year now, but
5 years, so like since I was 16.
Oh, the beginning of February, what the fuck years? Was it 08? You were there. Shit, I didn't mean it till later. Oh man, where's my mom?
Tonight was my very first night ever in the history of life.
In February, March, somewhere around there, it'll be my 3rd year.
March of 09 is when I really started going hard for the comedy and having people boo.
Yeah, he sucks so bad when he started doing it.
I've been doing it for about a little over 4 months now. So.
If they ever made a movie about me, I would want Eddie Murphy to play the role of everyone in my family.
A lot of my jokes just come from stupid things I hear people saying, and what if that was in a different context?
I'm really not that violent of a person. Never been much of a troublemaker, really. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, my priest told me I had one of the most honest faces he'd ever come across. Thanks a lot, everybody.
having an awkward childhood, like a fat kid. So I think that's what I tell comedians all the time. That's what you have to do to really get into this and just have a really awkward childhood.
It's like people assume I'm a lesbian all the time. And, I'll give them that. I'm hairy and, I like softball. But it's just like, how do you prove that you're not a lesbian? How do you prove that? It's like, oh yeah, penis. So good. And don't even get me started on balls. Balls are great, yum.
It's just like, it's a lot of experiences. Like a lot of the jokes I tell on stage are from my own personal experiences. Like I'm socially awkward, and now I get to do it for money.
Stand-up comedy is my favorite thing in the whole world. Like as young as I can remember, just coming home, watching Comedy Central Presents, and just laughing my ass off. Raised really conservatively, so I had to watch comedy before my mom got home and hit me with the Bible a lot.
Favorite motivational quote. I was reading it all week preparing for today. It's an old Indian proverb about hard work and perseverance. It says, give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and... That's right, you can enslave him and his family, and you and your family never have to fish again.
There's nothing better than just laughing about things we all do wrong.
If you ever get the chance to do this, like if you ever have to buy a lot of booze at like a place like Meijer, fill your cart up with your Miller Lite and your Jack Daniels and whatever you drink. And then, even if you don't need it, grab a case of baby food and a package of diapers. Make sure those are the last two things on the belt when you go to check out.
And it's all about stuff that I've seen or done or just my own warped sense of reality.
And as it gets up to the scanner, stop, cashier. Wait a minute. What's my total? I'm gonna have to put these back.
And I'm hooked. Like I'm hook, line, and sinker hooked.
Keep going for Jason Carlin. You guys having a fun time so far? All right, awesome.
I started throwing myself into it when I decided this is what I want to do. It changes everything for you because every day you're trying to think, how can I put that on stage?
The other day I saw a 5-year-old boy with a cell phone. Who the fuck is he talking to? He's just on the phone with some bitch like, hey, you want to go to the teeter-totter later? I'll pick you up on my big wheel.
So to have a room full of people laughing at what you created, and they're forgetting about their bills, they're forgetting about, war and all the crazy stuff that's happening in the world, and they can just laugh at a joke. I love that.
But, so if you're offended and you want to beat me up after the show, don't. You're just going to win. The thing that was scary was the toys we had. They were really dangerous, but nobody gave a shit. Like Play-Doh. It's toxic, don't eat it, but here's a machine that makes it look like fucking cake.
It was always seemed like something I wanted to do, and I figured I'd bum myself out if I never did it.
And first up, the very funny Mr. Denny Green.
Like if I became an old man, I thought I should have done it, you know what I mean? And I was always worried about coming up with enough time. When I'm with her, she lets me know I'm alive. She makes me feel alive. And that's because when I'm with her, I wish I was fucking dead.
I did a lot of acting. I got cast in a film and started helping them rewrite the script and just kind of retool some things. And I kind of just
So when I was done with Titanic.
Yes. Yeah. So after I was finished with Titanic too.
Straight to video. There's no room for a sequel.
Shit, still an iceberg.
Who knows, in 3 weeks I'll be as funny as Dave Coulier, who was just here. Good job.
I'm drunk.
His catchphrase was "cut it out," which is funny because he wasn't a cesarean baby. But his mom did try to abort him.
No.
Because she knew how much she was going to hate Full House. Would you guys write for it? Fuck you.
I started working out some jokes, just making fun of, the girl I was dating, and it worked out really well. The first night I actually met Denny, and I had to go home.
Turns out we're fucking the same girl. I had the same jokes. Like, oh my god, that's Sarah. How do you know? So that was cute. It's like a sitcom moment. But my girlfriend, you're fucking my girlfriend. That was you that night. So yeah.
We were gifted.
I got some good news this morning. My brother called, and his wife gave birth to a little baby girl this morning. That makes me a new daddy.
Yeah. We always make references to Indians and buffaloes, where when the white cowboy would kill a buffalo, he would just use the meat and skin it and then wear that. Where the Indians would use the meat, use the organs, use the fur, use the bones. When we write jokes, we make sure we craft them completely and use every last ounce of joke that we can. So whether it's extra tags, whether it's, it works on 3 different levels. Because if we're going to write an offensive joke, we want it to be able to still have some type of redeeming quality to it.
When I was a freshman in high school in the spring of 1999, I was voted craziest and most unpredictable, which I thought was bullshit because I went to Columbine. They were going to put it in the yearbook, but they were a little short-staffed after April. Shoot me.
If you're like, that's fucked up, you shouldn't say that. But if by the end you're laughing, it's kind of like, it's okay to laugh at fucked up stuff.
People always buy these cigars called Black and Mild, and down the street people just call them blacks. I didn't know that shit. I had a little white girl come in one time and said, "Hey, let me get 2 blacks and a lighter." And I stopped for a second, I looked at her and said, "First of all, ma'am, I like to call them African Americans. Second of all, you haven't been able to buy them outright for like months now. Third of all, I'm not going to sell you 2 black people, you're just going to try to light them on fire." I said, "No, I want Black and Mild." She's like, "Well, in that case, I'll need to see your ID." Which I thought was ironic, because when I thought she was buying 2 black people to light them on fire, asking for her ID never crossed my mind.
And people get offended about the racism. It's like the Archie Bunker thing. It's like the joke is on him, The joke, the butt of the joke is the prejudice, not the race. But people are so stupid, especially Indians. No, but it's like they always get. They act like a bunch of fucking Polacks. That's why I hate about racism.
He's right.
Prejudice is so gay.
There's a lot of cycles with society in general, where there was a big comedic boom in the 80s, but there was also a big economic downfall in the 80s, where now there's an economic downfall. So I feel like it opens up a huge door for dark comedy because people are already upset about not being able to afford their rent, not being able to afford, clothes, not being able to afford shelter. So if they're sitting and listening to people that are way more fucked up than they are, it almost kind of makes them feel bad, makes them feel better, well, at least I'm not that person.
At least for me, if I can make someone laugh, that means one more minute they're not thinking about mortgage payments, all this stuff, the dog shitting on her favorite carpet and can't get that out with bleach anymore because you already did it 500 times. Stand-up comics are just so, I don't know the word, neurotic or just all about themselves because we're fucking crazy. We want to go in a room full of strangers and try to make them like us and laugh. That's just freaking nuts. You might as well be in a psych ward.
Tom Slimitz, you guys are cool.
Keep it going for Tom Slavinsky, everybody.
Is it the fucking Boom Channel? Can someone tell me why there's a fucking Boom Channel?
You know pneumonia spelled with a P? This guy? Otherwise, I would have really misspelled what Brittany Murphy died of. Shut up! Shut up over there!
So sorry, Tom.
Did you interview the girl yet?
You should, dude.
She's funny.
Did you see the jokes on her?
picked out the coolest looking ones.
Can we say shit?
Can we say shit?
Okay. All right. God, don't scare me like that.
We stuck the cocksuckers together and made up a fucking logo. Can we say fucking cocksuckers?
You're opening up the floodgates of shit, man. The levees just broke. Oh shit.
I guess.
God, you're so cute.
I know, thanks.